Regardless of whether you listen to hip hop or not, I'm sure the vast majority of you have heard of Lil Wayne. His music is undoubtedly a part of pop culture. However, in the past, before his popularity was as high as it is today, he made a song called I Feel Like Dying. Now, the actual subject matter is about what sounds like Lil Wayne's drug addiction. However, there have been rumors starting around 2007 through 2008 that the song contained a hidden message if played reversed. As one of the many that listened to it, I have to say I was pretty creeped out after hearing it. Some people have taken the liberty of making lyrics to the reverse song, and as expected, the lyrics vary from video to video. However, the content is always the same: violence, murder, and something demonic. As a curious person, I decided to do some research on the subject, and I haven't found much. When Wikipedia had an article on the song, briefly it said that Lil Wayne never commented on whether the rumors were true. Upon going to underground resources, I have some connection with people in the music industry. I uncovered that once during an interview, Lil Wayne was asked about the rumors regarding the song, and he reportedly ignored the questions. When the interviewer persisted, Lil Wayne just got up and left, ending the interview permanently. Another account said that when a fan ran into him on the street and asked him about the rumor, he started yelling at him and cursing at him. When the fan kept asking, Lil Wayne assaulted him and told him to never mention the song again. There were several more accounts of things like this happening. However, one of the stories involved a woman actually being murdered by fellow rappers and label mates Drake and Gouda for asking about it. Using the same music industry connections I have, I managed to get a hold of some backstage tickets at a concert he was having. However, the concert wasn't for another 5 months, so I had to put my quest for answers on pause until then. When the day of the concert arrived, I sat next to some die-hard fans who kept screaming. Like most people, I'm always wondering how he became so popular despite his rap skills not being the best. But I wasn't one to question how a man makes his living, so I just kicked back and enjoyed the concert. The concert itself was unbelievably hyped up. There was so much energy, it was like a musician's idea of heaven. After the concert ended, some hours later, I went backstage and met Lil Wayne. Despite his lyrics, he is actually a very sweet and homely guy. When I was introduced to him by the bodyguards, he was sitting down reading his Bible. He got up and greeted me, and he introduced me to the rest of the Young Money group. Drake shook my hand, then walked out of sight. Nicki Minaj gave me a hug, and I won't lie, I wish that hug lasted forever. After shaking the rest of the group's hands and chatting briefly with Tyga, I sat down to talk with Lil Wayne. We discussed religion and our faith. For those who don't know, Lil Wayne is a practicing Christian. The background stories behind his song, the song Lollipop, was actually a dare by one of the song producers, Jim Jolson, to make a song about blowjobs by jokingly releasing as a single, and our lives. I was impressed by how intelligent this man really is. He's had a rough life growing up in Holly Grove area of New Orleans, and he says he's blessed to have a career as successful as his. I decided after about 30 minutes of chatting to bring up I feel like dying. As I brought it up, his face went from happy and cheerful to just drained of its color, like if something terrified him. As we talked about the song, he had told me he was in a hard time in his life when he wrote the song, that without drugs he felt like he would die, and then he tried to change the subject. When I asked about the rumors of a hidden message in the song, he became visibly furious and denied that there was a hidden message. When I told him I had sources saying otherwise, he was now in the point of tears and told me to get the fuck out. As security was escorting me out, I managed to catch a glimpse of him clutching his Bible and chanting Bible phrases over and over again. The man now obviously afraid, and now it got me more curious. Why would this man just freak out and have me kicked out? I knew there was a reason, and I set out to find it. After some time has passed, I managed to get a hold of Cool and Dre. If you don't know who they are hip-hop producers who have produced many of Lil Wayne's songs. I chatted with them, and as I mentioned the supposed hidden message in I Feel Like Dying, Dre just stomped out of the room and Cool just stood there with a froze expression on his face. When I asked once again, he whispered to me, "I can't explain here. They'll follow us. Follow me." When I asked who was they, he told me to follow him to his car. When we got to it, he told me to never mention what he was gonna tell me to anybody. Then he started the car and started driving. After 15 minutes of driving and Cool being silent, we arrived at a large church. The church was already having session as I could see a swarm of people gathered inside. I followed Cool into the church and he said, "Alright, they can't hear us here." When I asked who, he replied, "The real producers of this song." Apparently shortly before Lil Wayne's popularity exploded, he made a pact with a demon named Murmur, that in exchange for his soul, finding a few more people to make the same pact, and allowing him to possess Lil Wayne for a short period of time, he would make him one of the most popular rappers alive and make sure his career prospers. Lil Wayne agreed, and he started looking for new talent to recruit. He said that Murmur was the true writer of the song, and several of his minions were actually the producers. When Lil Wayne recorded the song, it wasn't really him. It was Murmur possessing him for the sole purpose of making the song reality. Lil Wayne has no memory of recording the song, and after a few years found new recruits. Those new recruits, we know them as Young Money. All of the rappers in Young Money group have made the same pact, and Lil Wayne deal was complete. Murmur kept his part of the deal and helped Lil Wayne and the Young Money group careers became successful. However, Lil Wayne now regrets the deal because he now fears for his soul and now regardedly attends church, prays fatically, and reads his Bible every chance he gets, hoping it will be enough for God to forgive him and take back the deal. Cool then said he remembers one time going to a studio session when the song was being recorded. He said Murmur looked like a soldier with a uniform that resembles the French Foreign Legion. The color of this uniform, however, was a mix of red, black, and orange, like fire and brimstone colors. His face looked strangely human, not anything you'd expect a demon to look like, but his pupils were pure black. Right next to him was a strange animal that Right next to him was a strange animal next to him that resembled a giant vulture. He said that it kept staring at him and he got extremely uncomfortable. He said Murmur spoke to Lil Wayne briefly before turning into a floating pile of dust and violently flying inside Lil Wayne's mouth. The force knocked him down and he started violently choking and vomiting some foul-smelling yellow substance. When it ended, Lil Wayne / Murmur went to the recording booth and started recording the normal song. He looked behind him and saw two very large demonic creatures mixing the songs and playing around with the instrumentals. The larger demon looked at him with glaring bloodshot eyes and said in a low, booming voice to leave the room. Then Cool told me, "Now you know everything. Never tell anybody you heard this from me. Everybody involved in the making of that song is not supposed to reveal its true origins." That's why Lil Wayne gets aggressive when asked about it. They will drag us straight to hell if we ever told. Do you listen to Lil Wayne or the other young money artists? Their lyrics are good. In fact, they flat out suck. It's because of the pack is why they are so successful. The force of hell makes sure the weak-minded people who listen to their music gets sucked in and ask for more. Now tell me your address. I'll drive you home. After driving home, I watched him get in and drive off extremely quick and recklessly. I kept replying everything over and over in my mind. I couldn't believe it was true, but I guess this is pretty common. There are successful music artists who don't really have much talent today who are actually really popular. While it would be retarded to assume they made the same pact as Lil Wayne, it doesn't hurt to keep an open mind. Next time you hear conspiracy theories about popular artists selling their souls to the devil, keep an open mind, because with some research, you might just find it true.